George Elgar Hicks was a British painter renowned for his detailed and poignant depictions of Victorian domestic life, social gatherings, and moral narratives. Born in Lymington, Hampshire, on March 13, 1824, Hicks became one of the key figures in 19th century British genre painting. Though less widely remembered today than some of his contemporaries, during his lifetime, he gained recognition for his ability to tell complex, often sentimental stories through richly detailed compositions. George Hicks was born into a relatively comfortable middle-class family. His father, Edward Hicks, was a magistrate and town clerk, which allowed George access to a solid education. Initially, he pursued a career in medicine and studied at University College London. However, despite being a diligent student, Hicks found himself increasingly drawn to the arts, and in 1843, at the age of 19, he abandoned medical training to enroll at the Royal Academy Schools, one of the most prestigious institutions for aspiring artists in Britain. At the Royal Academy, Hicks developed his foundational skills in drawing, anatomy, and composition. He was influenced by the tradition of history painting, but soon found his niche in genre painting, a style that focuses on scenes from everyday life, often with moral or emotional undertones. Hicks began exhibiting at the Royal Academy in the 1850s. His early works adhered to the traditions of genre painting, echoing the influence of David Wilkie, William Mulready, and the Dutch masters. These painters had long set a precedent for detailed, small-scale domestic scenes. However, Hicks brought a distinctly Victorian sensibility to his subjects, focusing on the emotional lives and social roles of the British middle class. One of Hicks's early significant successes was Woman's Mission, Companion of Manhood, 1863, a painting that typified his interest in gender roles and domestic ideals. Part of a series, it explored the stages of a woman's life, offering commentary on her duties and virtues. This work, like many of Hicks's paintings, was praised for its storytelling and its alignment with the prevailing moral attitudes of the time. During the 1860s, Hicks solidified his reputation as a leading exponent of moral and sentimental genre painting. Works such as Dividend Day at the Bank of England, 1859, and The General Post Office, 1 Minute to 6, 1860, were ambitious multi-figure compositions that captured moments of tension and human drama in public settings. In Dividend Day at the Bank of England, Hicks portrayed a crowded financial institution teeming with people of all classes, men, women, and children, each engaged in various activities such as collecting interest, gossiping, or simply waiting. The work was admired not only for its technical detail, but also for its social commentary, capturing the bustling complexity of Victorian public life. Hicks's attention to detail, his understanding of human expressions, and his ability to create complex crowd scenes won him a place among the foremost genre painters of his generation. His works were often reproduced as engravings, which widened his audience and brought his images into the homes of the middle class. Hicks's style was characterized by meticulous realism, finely tuned color palettes, and precise draftsmanship. He was adept at capturing facial expressions, gestures, and textures, qualities that gave his paintings emotional resonance and narrative depth. His compositions often drew the viewer's eye across a carefully structured scene, encouraging engagement with each character's story. Unlike the Pre-Raphaelites, who were active during the same period and whom Hicks admired to some extent, he did not typically pursue medieval or literary themes. Instead, he focused on contemporary life. However, he shared the Pre-Raphaelites' dedication to realism and detail. By the late 1870s, tastes in British art began to shift. The high drama and overt sentimentalism that had characterized mid-century genre painting fell out of favor. Audiences increasingly turned toward new artistic movements, such as aestheticism and impressionism, which emphasized mood and visual impression over narrative clarity. As a result, Hicks's popularity waned. He continued to paint, though his output diminished in scale and ambition. His later works tended to be more conservative, and while they maintained his characteristic craftsmanship, they did not garner the attention or acclaim of his earlier paintings. He nonetheless remained active in the art world, occasionally exhibiting at the Royal Academy and other institutions. He was also an advocate for the moral purpose of art, believing that painting should instruct as well as delight. George Hicks married Maria Harriet Hicks, née Roche, in the 1850s, and the couple had several children. His family life often influenced his work. Domestic themes, the relationship between parents and children, and scenes of home life were frequent subjects in his paintings. Despite his artistic success, Hicks remained a modest figure, devoted to his work and family. He never sought the limelight and often declined opportunities for public recognition. George Hicks died in 1914 at the age of 90, having witnessed nearly a century of dramatic change in British art. Although his reputation declined with the rise of modernism, he has been rediscovered by art historians and collectors interested in Victorian culture, domesticity, and the visual articulation of moral values. Today, Hicks's paintings are appreciated not only for their technical brilliance, but also for the rich sociological insights they offer into the values and aspirations of the Victorian middle class. His work is held in several important collections, including the Tate Britain, the Victoria and Albert Museum, and regional art galleries across the UK. His ability to tell deeply human stories through art, with precision and compassion, continues to resonate. In an era when art often functioned as moral instruction, George Hicks stood out as one of its most thoughtful and skilled narrators.